Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video I'll be talking about learning how to trust God and put it all in His hands. At the end of the video I'll give you lots of resources, all kinds of different stuff that can just help you dive deeper into the subject if you really want to. I want this to just be an outlet for learning and for spending time with God. As I said earlier, today's topic is learning to trust in God. I just want to start out with everyone has struggles in their life, and everyone needs to learn to just trust in God. And us as Christians are so blessed to have God in our life. We have someone to trust. We have that ability to just give it all to Him and let go of it and let it happen how He wants it to happen, because He has a perfect plan for you. I've had plenty of struggles in my life. My hardships aren't over yet, but as much as I hate to admit it, I know that once this hardship is over, another one's gonna come up. That's just the way it works. It's just like when one opportunity ends, another one opens up. The same thing, when one hardship ends, another one is going to come. That's part of life. Life has hurdles, life has hardships. But we need to learn how to deal with them and handle them and get through them. But I know that if it weren't for these hardships in my life that I've been through, I would not be the person I am today. I have been so blessed with just everything that's happened in my life, everything surrounding it. I can just see positive coming from it everywhere because I'm looking for it. I know that my character would not be the same as it is. I would not be this close to God. I'm close enough to God to make a whole channel devoted to trying to spend time with Him and help others spend time with Him. I just love talking about my beliefs. Honestly, I don't know if I would believe in God if I hadn't gone through everything, because there's been like a couple times in my life, mainly when I was younger, where it was like, what if I am wrong? What if He doesn't exist? But then I would remember all these things that have happened to me and everything God has done for me, and I have seen His hand working in my life. So I know He has to exist, because that couldn't just happen by chance. So now we get to the part where we learn how to trust. First, I'll start with just counting the little blessings in life. Now, hopefully, you have already expressed to God plenty of times that you're thankful for, your family, food, water, your house, or whatever you may have that's like an obvious thank you, Lord, because a lot of people don't have this. But start counting the little blessings. Start counting the random things throughout your everyday life that it's just like, oh, thank you that this happened, God. Thank you that I didn't hit my head when I fell. Thank you that my bone is not broken. Thank you that I finished my homework in time. I got to go to bed and get enough sleep before my big project is due tomorrow. Little things like that. Anytime that something like that happens, just immediately turn to God and just tell Him thank you. And that's all it takes. I actually did that a while back, like when I was quite a bit younger, and it worked really well. It made me just a happier person overall, and it made me just start seeing all the good things that happened to me. But then I tried it again not too long ago, and it wasn't really working because I just would forget. I was forgetting. I wanted to start counting these little blessings and thanking Him right after it happens. So if you try that and it's not really working, you're forgetting to thank Him, or you're forgetting to look for those little blessings, one thing that will kind of like start forcing you to do it a little more, and that I started doing and it worked, is every day count 3 things that you're thankful for. Write it down, type it up, whatever works for you. Think of 3 things you're thankful for that day. Don't repeat anything, and do 3 things every day. When you start off, it's going to be really easy, but then the further you get into this process, the more you have to think like, what happened to me that was good enough to put that I'm thankful for? And it can be random things. I put all kinds of random things on mine. Let your heart out though. And if you have more than 3 things that you want to write down for that day, do it. Next step is look at everything in a positive light, because when you look at things in a positive way, they become positive. When you look at things in a negative way, they become negative. If you're looking for the negativity in everything that's happening, then you're gonna find the negativity. But if you're looking for everything that's good and hopeful and happy and loving and whatever other good feelings, if you look for those kinds of things, the positive stuff, you will find that. You'll find the good stuff. You'll find what you look for. Look at life in a half glass full kind of way instead of half glass glass half empty. In every situation, think of ways that situation could turn out to be a good thing. Think of any kind of good that could come from it. Anything that you think might actually be the reason that God has placed this hurdle in your life. You're not always going to find the good in things. It's not always that easy. God doesn't always reveal himself to you in that way. And just remember that whatever you're struggling with, you're not alone. There are so many people going through probably the same thing or similar thing to you. Because I know that he's real and I've seen his hand working in my life, I've learned to trust him, that he's going to handle everything that happens to me. Everything is in his control and everything has a purpose. Everything that happens to us, he has a reason. You won't always figure out what that reason is. Maybe you've been through hardships, but you haven't seen God's hand work in your life. You don't feel like just everything is happening for a reason. You feel like the whole world is against you. That's the case for a lot of people. But you just have to understand that it is part of a greater plan for your life. And most of the time, after the hardship is over, at some point you'll have finally realized, like, I needed this in my life. Whether I wanted it or not, I needed it. And all of the hardships that you go through will develop your character, just like everything I've been through has formed who I am as a person. It's brought me closer to God, and it's brought me closer to my family, and it's taught me a lot about life. He knows you, he knows your future, he knows what will make a difference in your future and why certain things are better to happen to you than other things. And he has it all planned out in a perfect picture. And he will turn you into the person that you are called to be. Whatever you are going through, if you really can't figure out a reason, that's a good one to go to. Just remind yourself, this will make me a better person in the end. And also, if God gives you a hardship, he knows you can handle it. God won't give you something that you can't handle with his help. And it's perfectly okay, and actually, you need to ask God for help if you need help. Don't be afraid to ask God for help. He loves you and he cares for you and he's always there with you, and he will help you if you ask. You just have to trust him and lay it all on him. Lay down all your worries, all your pain, and just let him take it away. The third step in order to really learn how to trust God is the part where you actually trust God. It can be hard, especially at first, when you first start really trying. But whenever you do overcome that hardship, oftentimes God will show you his reasoning. You'll start seeing patterns in your life. You'll start seeing patterns of, oh, he's trying to do this for me. He's trying to make me a better person. He's trying to teach me this. He's trying to bring me closer to him. So I'll probably be making a video where I'll explain different resources such as radio stations that I listen to and what versions of the Bible I use and why, and things like that. But for now, as far as the Bible versions, I'm probably always going to let you know which specific version I think you should read the verse from. Until then, I'm going to start reading off the verses. The first verse that I want to read to you guys is, trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything you do, everywhere you go. He's the one who will keep you on track. Don't assume that you know it all. Run to God. Run from evil. So, exactly what the verse said. There's not really much else I can explain about that verse. Just trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't trust your own instincts, your own understanding. Lean not on your own understanding. Trust Him. Submit to Him. And He will make your path straight. He will help you overcome those hurdles. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? That's powerful, in my opinion. I've always loved this verse, and it has such a strong message, and I have chills right now from reading it. If you decide for God, living a life of God worship, it follows that you don't fuss about what's on the table at mealtimes, or whether the clothes in your closet are in fashion. There's far more to your life than the food you put in your stomach, more to your outer appearance than the clothes you hang on your body. Look at the birds, free and unfettered, not tied down to a job description, careless in the care of God. And you count far more to Him than birds. So I feel like that just puts it more in depth and more in a way that we in our modern world can understand it and really comprehend what this verse means. That God takes care of the birds. The birds don't have jobs. They don't need money. The birds don't have roofs over their heads. God provides everything that they need, just like He will do for us. We count way more to Him. We matter more to God than birds do. So if He can take care of birds the way He does, then He can definitely take care of us, no matter what we go through. Meanwhile, the moment we get tired in the waiting, God's Spirit is right alongside helping us along. If we don't know how or what to pray, it doesn't matter. He does our praying in and for us, making prayer out of our wordless sighs, our aching groans. He knows us far better than we know ourselves. He knows our pregnant condition and keeps us in present before God. That's why we can be so sure that every detail in our lives of love for God is worked into something good. I really like that verse in the Message Bible as well, because the same as the last one, it's more applicable to our modern world, and it lets us know that God is always right next to us. No matter how tired we get, no matter how hard it gets to wait, no matter how hard it is for us to pray, or if we don't know how to pray, He does it for us. You still need to pray, but if you don't know what to say, then just spend time with Him, and He knows your heart. He knows your intentions. He knows your thoughts. So if you can't get the words out, that's okay. Just ask Him for help. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. That's another one where it's saying God is always by your side. He will always be there with you. So just be strong. Trust Him. Trust that He will help you in every way you need. A person whose desire rests on you, you preserve in perfect peace, because he trusts in you. What this is saying is anyone who rests their wants and needs on Him, anyone who gives their needs and worries and wants to God and lays it all on Him, He will preserve them. He will protect them and keep them in perfect peace, because that person trusts in God. Commit your way to Adonai. Trust in Him and He will act. Commit your way to God. Give everything to God. Trust in Him and He will act. He will take care of you. He will do everything you need him to do. He will do it. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. That's a verse that I have heard so many times growing up. And that's another really powerful one. Don't be anxious about anything. There's no reason to if you trust in God. In every situation, pray. Pray repetitively. It says with prayer and petition. So pray and pray repetitively. And be thankful for what you do have. Be thankful for those little blessings. And present your requests to God. And then God will put peace over you. God will put peace in your life. Are you noticing a pattern here with some of these verses? Trust in God and you will have peace. Don't fret or worry. Instead of worrying, pray. Let petitions and praises shape your worries into prayers, letting God know your concerns. Before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness, everything coming together for good, will come and settle you down. It's wonderful what happens when God displaces worry at the center of your life. So don't worry about things. Pray instead. And let those petitions, the repetitiveness, and the prayers, let those shape your worries into faith, into prayers. And before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness will come and settle you down. The last line of this verse is awesome. It's wonderful what happens when Christ displaces worry at the center of your life. When God removes it from the center of your life and you no longer have worry. It's amazing the feelings you can have and the things you can do. Don't let yourselves be disturbed. Trust in God and trust in me. That was spoken by Jesus. Just don't worry. Trust in God. No matter how hard it may seem to just trust in God, you just have to do it. It's a matter of your own faith. No person can make it easier or harder for you to trust in God. It's a matter of your own faith and your own connection with God. So make that connection. Pray all the time. Take all the steps that I mentioned in this video to learn how to trust in God. This names a few other verses that are really good if you do want to dive deeper into this topic of trusting in God. There are a bunch of songs, as you can see, that I just love, and they are so awesome for this topic. I particularly like the ones by Sanctus Real, because I just love that band. That band has so many songs that I can apply my own life to, and it's amazing. And then also the book on there, I have not read, but from the summary of the book, it looks really good, and I think it applies to this video as well. I found this book on focusonthefamily.com. I recommend you go check that out. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something. I just hope that I touched someone's heart today and that God spoke through me to reach someone today. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions or concerns. Let me know if you learned something from this and you want to see more. My faith can move mountains, and so can yours. Bye, guys. I'm doing a lot of hand motions, but you can't see it in the camera.